Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right but getting nowhere? You save your hard-earned money every single month. You skip the expensive dinners and you drive an older vehicle. You check your investment account after 3 years and the balance looks almost the same. You check it again after 5 years and it still feels like a slow climb. Many people in their 50s and 60s look at their portfolios and feel a quiet sense of panic. We wonder if we started too late. We wonder if the system is simply broken for people like us. Perhaps you see your neighbors taking lavish cruises or buying brand new trucks. You wonder if your quiet discipline is actually a mistake. But what if I told you that this feeling of failure is actually a sign of progress? What if the lack of visible results is exactly what is supposed to happen in the beginning? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the most frustrating stage of wealth building. Financial experts call these the invisible years. It is the period where your effort is very high, but your results look very low. If you can understand the math and the psychology behind this phase, you will find the strength to stay the course. Let us explore why the first decade feels like a ghost, and why your breakthrough is closer than you think. Imagine you are holding an ice cube in a room that is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The room is cold and the ice is solid. You start to heat the room up very slowly. 21 degrees, 22 degrees, 25 degrees. The ice cube is still there and nothing has changed. 30 degrees, 31 degrees. You have put in a lot of energy and you have raised the temperature by 11 degrees. Yet there is still no puddle of water on the floor. To an outside observer, it looks like you are failing. It looks like you are wasting energy for no reward. But then you hit 32 degrees. Suddenly the ice begins to melt. A 1-degree shift changed everything. This is exactly how compounding works in your 401k or your retirement fund. The first 10 years are like heating that room from 20 degrees to 31. You are doing the work and you are building the foundation, but the results are hidden beneath the surface. Think about the Chinese bamboo tree. When the seed is planted, it must be watered and weeded every single day. For 4 long years, nothing happens above the ground. You see no green and you see no growth. But in the 5th year, the tree grows 80 feet tall in just 6 weeks. The question is, did the tree grow 80 feet in 6 weeks, or did it grow 80 feet in 5 years? The answer is 5 years. If the farmer had stopped watering for even 1 day during those invisible years, the tree would have died. Compounding is the bamboo tree of the financial world. In the United States and Canada, we are taught to expect linear results. If we work 10 hours, we expect 10 hours of pay. If we plant a garden, we expect to see sprouts in a few weeks. But wealth does not grow in a straight line. It grows on a curve that starts flat and ends with a vertical explosion. Let us look at a simple example with real numbers. Imagine you invest $500 every single month. You earn a steady 7% return every year. After 10 years, you have contributed $60,000 of your own money. Your total account balance is about $86,000. That sounds okay, but look closer at the math. Your money only earned $26,000 in interest over an entire decade. That is only about $200 a month in growth. After 10 years of sacrifice, you might feel like your money is barely working for you. You might think that it is not worth the effort. You might be tempted to pull the money out and spend it on something tangible. This is the danger zone where most people quit. They stop contributing or they move their money into risky gambles. They do this because they do not realize they are at 31 degrees. Now let us look at what happens if that same person stays invested for 25 years. The numbers start to defy human logic. By year 25, that same $500 a month has grown to over $380,000. But here is the miracle of the curve. In that final year alone, your account grows by more than $25,000. That is more growth in one single year than you saw in the entire first 10 years combined. This is the moment the ice melts. This is the moment the invisible years finally become visible. The problem is that our human brains are not naturally wired to understand this. Our ancestors survived by thinking about today and tomorrow. They did not survive by thinking about 30 years from now. When we see our account balance grow by only a few $100s, we feel a sense of loss. We feel like we are wasting our time. This is what psychologists call linear bias. We assume that if year 1 was slow, then year 20 will also be slow. But in the world of compounding, the last years do all the heavy lifting. Think about the legendary investor Warren Buffett. He is one of the wealthiest men in history. But did you know that over 99% of his wealth was created after his 50th birthday? In fact, most of his massive fortune came after he turned 65. If he had quit during his invisible years, he would be just another name in a phone book. He succeeded because he understood that time is the most powerful factor in the equation. He survived the boredom of the first few decades. For those of you in your 60s, it is never too late to keep going. The math of compounding does not care how old you are. It only cares how long you leave the money alone. Even a 5-year window can produce significant results if you are at the right point on the curve. You can take advantage of catch-up contributions that are allowed for those over 50. The government wants you to succeed during these final years. The secret to surviving the invisible years is a strategy I call strategic forgetting. You must automate your savings and then forget that the money exists. Stop checking the balance every week. Stop comparing your progress to the lottery winners on the news. The more you watch the pot, the slower it seems to boil. In the military, they talk about holding the line. They stay in position even when they cannot see the enemy. They stay even when nothing seems to be happening. Wealth building is a financial battle of holding the line. You are holding the line against inflation. You are holding the line against the urge to spend. You are holding the line against the fear that you are falling behind. If you live in North America, you are surrounded by messages of instant success. The media loves to show the young tech founder or the lucky crypto trader. They never show the quiet couple who lived in a modest house for 40 years. They never show the person who drove the same truck for a decade so they could invest the difference. But those are the people who eventually reach the vertical part of the curve. They are the ones who wake up one day and realize their money is making more than their job. They reach a point where the growth of their portfolio is larger than their annual salary. That is the reward for surviving the invisible years. It is a reward that requires no genius and no special luck. It only requires the ability to be bored while your money works in the dark. It is about having the courage to look like you are losing for a long time so that you can win in the end. If you are in year 3 or year 7 or year 10, please do not stop. The math is working even if you cannot see it yet. Every dollar you save today is a soldier that will fight for you in 20 years. And every dividend you reinvest is like planting a new seed in that bamboo forest. The heat is rising. The temperature is climbing. You are much closer to 32 degrees than you think. Be patient with the process. Be kind to your future self. And remember that the greatest oaks were once just seeds that spent years underground. Success is often just on the other side of your desire to quit. Keep your head down and keep your heart steady. Before we go, I want to ask you a question. What was the hardest year for you to stay invested when you did not see any results? How did you manage to keep going when the numbers looked flat? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to keep going. If you want to see how this math changes once you reach age 65, you should watch our next video. We will explain the exponential explosion that happens in the final chapters of retirement. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Please take care of yourself and your future. The content in this video is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute professional financial advice. Please consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Your future self will thank you for the discipline you show today. May your journey be steady and your retirement be bright.